Chris Cuomo on CNN. Now, I'm not going to play this full clip for you because it's pretty long. I'll try to have some splices here. Maybe I'll just have a block of part of it. He ended up going off on Donald Trump because, Trump is trying to do these photo ops for getting coronavirus. And Chris Cuomo ends up making multiple points here. But I want you to check out this clip because I think it's pretty impassioned from Chris Cuomo. Honestly, I have a question about Chris Cuomo and the way that he carries himself in this. But in addition to that, I honestly, it really is a pretty impassioned move, and I think we should talk about it.
Kids, this stupid hybrid learning. It's not learning, it's unlearning. No tests. One case, whole school closes down. Why? No resources. Can't contact trace. No sophistication or thought about it. No help. Imagine if we had access to what he had access to, that he ignores, that he abuses. Life would be totally different. He didn't just walk into the White House one time with no mask tonight. He had his video crew capture that stupid scene again so he could put out propaganda, fronting a lie to his people. Once again, just like, don't worry about the mask. Now he says, don't worry about COVID. Don't let it control your life. Just propaganda. That's all it is. I know there's sound to it. I'm not going to play it for you. Why should I? How much bullshit do you need in your life? Don't let COVID control your life. Nobody wants it to control their life. They don't have any choice because you're not setting up communities with the testing that you take for granted. A hospital suite and 24-hour care and experimental drugs and all the best of everything all the time. And I'm not saying he shouldn't have it. I'm saying you should. Isn't that his damn job, is to kill himself? He loves to work. Then do the work. A leader would go. A leader would go and do everything you're not supposed to do and force people into places where they can get sick. We've never had anyone get sick. Yeah, tell it to the people in the Rose Garden, the only place we can reasonably contact trace. Who the hell knows who's at his rallies? How are you going to find them? You think they're going to come forward and say, I got sick at a Trump rally? He takes off his mask while he's still infected, like that's some show of strength. It's as weak as it gets. Of course you should be afraid of COVID. It's killed more than 210,000 of us. Don't be afraid of COVID. 10,000 have died in the last 13 days. Don't be afraid of COVID. It just took down the most powerful and protected person in the world. He had to go to the hospital. His continued recklessness makes it impossible to be sympathetic. I feel for his wife. I don't even know how she's doing. They only talk about him. He has been covering up the reality from jump. He admitted it himself on a recording that he was covering it up. And now the vice president, just when you think maybe they get it, maybe we can all get on the same goddamn page, the head of the White House, coronavirus task force says, I'm going to go do the rallies. I'm going to go do the rallies. He's going to do the same thing that got the other guy sick. It is the definition of insanity.
So as you guys just saw there, obviously Chris Cuomo, what he's talking about there is one of the points he makes is talking about all the different drugs that Donald Trump is getting, the coronavirus rapid test that he gets, and he's talking about how the average American doesn't have access to any of those things. I actually think that's a pretty compelling point as well. But he shows the photo op video where he's trying to do for the ad. He's walking back and forth to try to get the right shot for his ad. And he's calling him out on his bullshit, generally speaking. And I found it to be a really impassioned sort of rant and a anti-Trump rant. But really what I really found was I found myself questioning whether or not from Chris Cuomo this was sort of something that is based in true sincerity and being genuine, or if it's more just sort of theater. Because no matter who you are, what creed, what belief you are, I think we can all agree that was pretty good theater, right? Now my question is, does he believe the stuff that he's saying? That's my genuine question. Not that does he believe it, but is he sort of taking theatrical antics and acting and drama to try to boost it up, Or is he really just so impassioned about this issue that he's just completely going off on Donald Trump? That's really my question, because he really did a good job there. It was very impassioned. He made a lot of pretty compelling and important points, in my opinion, about Trump and how this is all a photo op and how he's using people. He's a liar. He's a bullshit con artist. All of that stuff, right? All I felt like was really, really cogent. And the way that he delivered it, and I feel like his Italian accent, I mean, not that he has an accent, but, that kind of, the little touch that he has to it, I think adds to it as well. I find really interesting. I felt like that was really good enough of a sort of theatrical thing that I had to talk about it. And I really want to know your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think it's partially, do you think it's part and part? Do you think it's double partial? Or do you think that it's, yeah, he really is outraged about this, but also he has a really good theatrical taste and he's just able to turn that on sometimes? Or do you think, no, it's fully genuine, he totally believes it, and it's 100% so important to him that he's doing this? Or do you think it's completely fake? Or any other options? I don't want to black and white fallacy this, right? But definitely let me know what your thoughts are, because honestly, I think that was pretty impassioned, pretty good. And, I would say Chris Cuomo is probably one of the better hosts in the business, especially for progressives, considering that he would bring on progressives like Cenk Uygur and I don't remember if he brought on Anna Kasparian or not, but, he would bring on some progressives, have an AOC on too, I think. So, some interesting stuff here coming from Chris Cuomo. Let me know your thoughts down below.